Look who's here. Retired Major General Dana Pittard. General Pittard served for 34 years in the Army and in the White House as military aide to President Biden. You look great in the shot, General. You're centered there, so I just want to make you comfortable. General, what do you make of the Biden White House letting Ukraine use American weaponry to strike Russian military forces inside areas of Russia near Ukraine's Kharkiv? But how would Russia retaliate if Ukraine accidentally strikes civilian targets inside Russia with an American missile? We know that Russia routinely strikes civilians in Ukraine, but what if that happened? What do you think would occur?
Well, good evening, Liz. I mean, the use of ATACMS or long-range missiles really will be helpful to Ukraine because it allows them to really extend the battlefield in both time, space, and depth. And you need to do that in war. Russia is doing that with Ukraine. And so it's only fair that Ukraine does that because Russia has safe havens just across their border that Ukraine has previously not been able to really touch. Now, if unfortunately some civilians are killed, it would be similar to civilians being killed in Ukraine by Russians. So I'm sure Russia will try to retaliate against Ukraine for that. They wouldn't dare retaliate against the West and NATO and the United States. And so I don't think that that's a risk for the United States.
But how would they retaliate?
They would retaliate against Ukraine with more missile attacks. But they've shot their best shot as far as missile attacks on Ukraine, and Ukraine is still standing.
But could they attack a NATO nation? Maybe if we know the French troops are going on boots on the ground. By the way, there are 3 Russian Navy ships and a nuclear-powered submarine set to arrive at Cuba's port of Havana for an official visit next week. A lot of talk about that, too. It just would be striking. The media reaction might be negative if U.S. weapons killed Russian civilians.
It'd certainly be negative, but the protocol with the Russian Navy in Cuba is nothing really new. So that's not going to cause any issues. The last thing that Vladimir Putin wants is war with NATO and the United States.
Okay, let's move on to this. President Biden spoke out about democracy in ceremonies again today to commemorate the 80th anniversary of D-Day. But he apologized to Ukraine's Zelensky for the delay in a new Ukraine aid package out of Congress. He blamed Republicans. He's been criticizing Republicans and taking veiled shots at Trump's overseas. There's concern that overseas events like this are being used for politics. That goes for either side. And Hillary Clinton put out basically a tweet saying, about D-Day, but saying vote in November. Again, a veiled attack at Trump. What do you make of using ceremonies like this for politics?
I never liked that. Let's honor our troops that landed June 6, 1944, and change the world. You think about those 225 Rangers who climbed up the Atlantic Wall, basically, at Pointe du Hoc, and that unbelievable, amazing bravery. So we should really stick to that. But understanding that at this time, though, in Europe, there is a threat. There's a threat from Russia against Ukraine and possibly Russia against other European nations. So I think it's okay to call that out, but it's never okay in that kind of forum to delve into partisan politics from back home.
General Pittard, thank you for your service to America. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. It's good to see you.